Okay, so let me introduce you to my children. And there's a point here. Oh, thank you. Man, Brenda rocks. Put these on my thing. Hopefully I won't swallow them or choke on them, but anyway. So a lot of people kind of get hung up on product. It's like the details, product. The people that get hung up on product are the ones that come from other sales things where they got to know every nth detail of their product so they can sell it to someone, okay? With us, that's not really as much of an issue because you got to look at it not from your perspective as an agent. You have to look at a perspective of the client. And the way that I look at it is the client's perspective is they want and need a product that when they die, it will pay out to benefit their beneficiaries. Okay, they're not looking for power steering. They're not looking for power brakes. They're not looking for a navigation system. They're not looking for GPS tracking that does all kinds of stuff. They're not looking for Wi-Fi in their car. They're looking for a product that will pay when they die to either take care of their mortgage, to take care of their final expenses, to cover their spouse because they just got married, okay? Now, there are little perturbations that occur, like they're looking for a retirement system, a retirement program, that a product can help them do that while buying life insurance. There's little things out there, but it's not major. We'll teach you those things, but remember, from the client's perspective, they want to know if they die that the product will pay. Now, if there's anything about this whole process of learning product, it's more underwriting. What can a client fit into as far as product, okay? So I've always found it good to kind of categorize products, and just let me show you from the perspective of myself as a musician, okay? So in a minute, I'm going to introduce you to my children. I've got about 30 guitars. And people go, why do you have so many guitars? It's like each guitar is a tool in the sonic palette of my praise and worship band to provide the congregation a spiritual experience so they can experience God in their lives. Wow, that's really complex. No, it's why I have so many guitars, because I paint a picture, and I think the Holy Spirit has many colors. And I use my guitars to paint the palette of sound so they can get into a worship mood. It's not about me. Why do I need 30 guitars? Because, man, each guitar is a toolkit. But here's what you're going to find, a commonality in all the different guitars because of the way I play, the way that I do that. So I'm going to introduce you to my kids. So let me start with this one. This is my Gretsch Brian Setzer, okay? This guitar rocks, okay? It's a big, thicker, hollow body, okay? It's got the vintage style Gretsch pickups, okay? They're humbucking pickups, so there's no noise. Let me tell you why this puppy rocks. Is that when I solo on this, it's got this cutting sound that really cuts through the band and really has this great searing tone. But the other thing about it is that when I'm in rhythm guitar mode and I'm playing rhythm with delays, I play like the Edge when it comes to delays, these pickups, they don't have such a bold output that's really thick tone. It's got a very thin tone, right, when I play clean, because there's not much output on these humbuckers. But here's the thing, it's thin, sounds that when it delays, all the delays can be heard as almost a separate note, okay? But when I play, this thing rocks, man. It has a particular sonic palette that just adds to my voice. Here's my 72, I think, 72 Telecaster. This is in the configuration of Keith Richards of the Stones. Got a humbucker at the lead in the neck position and then a single coil. Okay, so now notice, I need a thick lead tone because I love playing lead up on the neck pickup, and it gives me a thick lead tone. But notice a single coil pickup in the bridge, so when I play rhythm, it still gives me that thin tone, right? It's a different sonic palette, but it has an underlying thing that's common between these guitars. So I could play the way I play and do the things I need to do. This is my 70s Les Paul Standard. This one's cool. So now you can see they both have two humbuckers. So I can get the lead tone, but Alex, it doesn't have a single coil. Oh, but wait. When I pop this switch up, it puts this into a single coil mode to give me that thin sound that I could delay, and I can get that edge vibe to it. But man, when this thing goes into lead mode, man, there's nothing like a Gibson Les Paul. I refinished this too. This is one of my children. And I just love the way this thing sounds, but it's different, but they are the same things. Different, but the same. Different company. And the scale length is different too. It's just shorter from the bridge to the nut. Anyway, I'm not going to get into too many detail. I'm trying to make a point. I did want to introduce you to my children. So this is my Strat. This is a beat up. You can see I played it, and it's a relic. Okay, this thing is just beat to heck. But oh my gosh, nothing plays like this neck. Notice, single coil, single coil, single. So it does have that thin sound I'm needing for delay, but check this out. But Alex, does it have that boldness of a humbucker? It does, because this switch right here, when I turn it up, it makes whatever coil I'm in sound like a humbucker. It's this bold, kind of Santana-ish sound. So here's what's interesting is I still can get it out of this guitar, but I have a little dial that dials it in. It's so cool. Very versatile, okay? But this puppy, man. Now don't ask me which one. I have people ask me, if you're in a deserted island, which guitar would you take? It totally like Sophie's Choice, man. I go into syllogism. I go into like, I can't decide if I was alone in a deserted island, like which one. Okay, so now here's like probably one of my most expensive guitars. These guitars are worth thousands. Like just the 5 I have here, it's probably $10,000 to $15,000 worth of guitars, and I've got like what, 25 more? Crazy. I do have a problem, okay, so I admit it. This is my Santana, Paul Reed Smith Santana. It's actually too pretty. It's just too shiny. It's got all this finish on it. I actually am seriously thinking about stripping it down so it feels more like my Strat. This one, check this out. So this gives me the Santana lead sound that I'm in love with. But this has a switch too that puts it into single coil thin mode. So when I play rhythm, I get the delay sounding perfect. But it has a different single coil sound. But it's a very pleasing, and I like it, but it's different. Again, right? Different guitar, different vibe, a different sonic palette, but there's the same thing with it that gets me what I need, okay? So Alex, what the heck? Is this just an excuse to introduce your children? Actually, there is a point. Well, get to it. I gotta go do something. Okay, I will get to it, I promise. Let's share. Some of you guitar guys are probably all drooling. I don't blame you, I'd be drooling too. I am drooling right now because I've got this cough drop in my mouth. Okay, so what does this have to do with product? So I'd like to draw out what I'm talking about, because drawing to me, I mean, I draw everything out. So the thing you have to understand about product is that I like to group it in categories, okay? In fact, the 4 quadrants of product. And this is the way I kind of map it in my brain, okay? And the analogy I talked about with my guitars, it's going to be evident when I show you what this means as far as the product categories, okay? So I break out our product line with term products, okay? Whole life products. We've got universal life. And then I'm just going to put other. Okay, just make it very simple for you to get started in life insurance. And so what I'd ask you is not to throw away everything that you learned in your licensee class, but this is where you really learn it properly here in what we do with these tools. Okay, and all these are tools. So we've got 4 categories of tools. All right. Okay, and within each category can be broken down in separate categories. Okay, so under the term quadrant, we have simplified issue term. We have fully underwritten term. Okay, so simplified issue means no blood and urine test. We can get it issued probably in a couple days. Quick, easy, the client gets what they want. Fully underwritten term, they got to get stuck, prodded, weighed, and measured. And we don't like those very much, okay? Whole life, we have like, I don't know how to say regular whole life, but kind of our normal whole life products. And then we got the guaranteed issue whole life. It's another category of whole life that any sick person can get. And the rates vary. This product, anyone can get it no matter how sick they are. These products have certain underwriting questions that will allow the person to get into it. And even within whole life here, there's graded level, basically, graded and level. And then on the universal side, there's straight up universal life, and then there's index universal life, all right? So if you're going to write down notes, put this in a grid, a simple grid. Let me make the quadrants more prominent here. And this is the way I kind of map my brain to understand the product areas. And the other, okay, I'm going to put accidental death benefit, which is what we have with Mutual of Omaha, only one company, that you can write accidental. And accidental is relevant when you have someone who just lost their job, they can't afford these, and this only goes up to a certain category of age, but it's something you can get your foot in the door with a client, get them something inexpensive so that you can come back when they're more financially stable. This is the go-to product. The only thing about accidental death is you need a health insurance license to write it. Okay, so if you don't have a health insurance license, you can't do accidental. So you need to think about getting your health insurance license as well, okay? So people go, well, what should I learn first? Okay, I'm a big fan of what Gina Hawk says. Learn one company that has these products so you don't have to kind of go through, just pick a company, okay? So let's pick Foresters. Okay, Foresters, you can cover Foresters Strong Foundation for the simplified issue product to learn, okay? The whole life for Foresters is Foresters Plan Right, okay? The universal life, Foresters Smart UL, they don't have an index universal life, okay? You used to have an accident policy they don't have anymore. But see, with one company, you can cover the simplified issue term, a whole life product, and a universal life product. Okay? I'm not going to teach you what these do, but just to map out what products to focus on, right? Now you're going to run into 6 sick people. And so guaranteed issue whole life, the company I would recommend is Great Western. That's for guaranteed issue whole life. So now I've talked about 2 companies, Foresters and Great Western. 2 companies, and the smart UL, here's what I would say is like, don't worry about the UL for now. If you're going to learn something starting out, simplified issue term product, a whole life, and a guaranteed issue whole life. Only 3 categories of products, in my humble but accurate opinion, that you need to get smart on, which is, you know, you can even do the Alliance training on those, Alliance University training on those. Okay, strong foundation, plan right, and then Great Western guaranteed issue whole life. Those are only 3 courses that will teach you those products. Now, there are some products, and Foresters is also available in New York. Now, if you're going to pick another company, the other company that I'd recommend, just pick one or the other, don't pick both. You might like one over the other. Columbian Financial Group, SIT, Simplified Issue Term, for whole life, Columbian Financial Group, Dignified Choice, and they're coming out with the UL here this year. Again, 1 company, 2 products, you got that covered, and then Great Western for guarantees your whole life. Do you see how kind of simple it is to break it down to only a few products you got to learn? And they're very simple to learn because they only do so much. But here's the key. How does this relate to what I showed you? Now you notice that I have a single coil thin sound that I need to do the delay. Here, the running thing that's like that is it doesn't require any blood and urine test. Simplified issue doesn't require blood and urine test. Whole life doesn't require blood and urine test. Guaranteed issue whole life doesn't require a blood and urine test. Our clients, okay, so FU, we only get 45% of these placed. Only 45%. But the term, the simplified issue, is 85%. 85%. You have a shot of getting it issued when you do simplified issue. Remember, like the single coil sound on a guitar, simplified issue rocks. Okay? Simplified issue. Here's the other thing. If you want to focus on, like I get this question, well, what percentages does your business write, or what can I expect in terms of policies I'm writing? So I've done studies in my business. Let's see if I can pull it up. Okay, this is my December production analysis. I broke it down into the product types. This is a very detailed product type breakdown here. Index universal life, annuities, fully underwritten term, universal life, guaranteed issue whole life, simplified issue term, whole life, Medicare supplement, and accidental death. It shows you the average premium. Notice the average premium per app for IUL is very high, $2,000. That's why we like IULs, because we sell the client value. The annuity is, that's a promotion credit premium. So you multiply annuity by, multiply this by, well, that's 10%. So divide that by 10%, you'll get the full amount of annuities we wrote. Fully underwritten term, usually it's higher just because people are looking for more and they're older. Universal life, the average premium, again, higher than term. Guaranteed issue, whole life, $797. Simplified issue term, the average premium, $754. Whole life, $679. Okay, and this is over a large, $536,000 issue paid. okay? Now this is by percentage by premium. So you'll notice by premium, actually it's not probably a good chart to determine percentages because I've grouped them here. Down here I've grouped them by just basic product type, okay? Okay, so whole life, total whole life is 50% by premium, 54% by app count. Simplified issue term is 26% by premium, about 26, 27%, based 27% by app count also. Universal life, that groups the IUL and DUL, 15% by premium, 10% by app count. Fully underwritten term, small percentage. There, you know, sometimes you can't get around it sometimes, but 3.75%, 1.77%, and a small percentage of accidental death benefit type policies. So far and away, you are going to write a bunch of whole life. Half your business will be whole life, about 27% will be simplified issue term, and then the other cats and dogs, okay? So what do we say, about 55% here that you're going to do your business with, about 27% here, and then kind of the other cats and dogs down here. And I actually did this by particular agents. I looked at, I don't know if I have theirs, but I did it by Jared Gonzalez and Junior Correa. Junior Correa did over 40,000, and I, let me see, indulge me. Let me see if I can pull that up. Okay, so that was my entire hierarchy, but I want to show you by individual agents because, you know, it's more relevant to like, well, what does an agent do? So I did Junior Correa, who issue paid 43,000 in the month of December, okay, 2018. So he's a high producer. And then we have another high producer, but she did about half that, 19,000 issue paid, okay. I also tracked just roughly what they submitted. So here's what's cool about Junior is he submitted 46,000 and got 43,000 issue paid. It's a high placement percentage, 93%. Jared submitted 23,000, got 19,000. So that's 82.41%. Okay. Now this is broken into by whole life, simplified issue term, UL, and accidental. So this covers that 4-quadrant mode. So notice 51% of Junior's business is whole life. Jera's is almost 65%. Okay. By app count, 53%, 64%. Okay. Simplified issue term, Junior's is 33.1% by premium. Jera's is 22.62% by premium. Okay, Universal Life, 11.7% by premium. Jera's is 6.95%. Accidental death are, you know, you can see here. But notice how very similar in terms of more whole life. They run 2 different parts of the country. Junior runs in Florida, and Jera runs in New Mexico, okay? So sometimes it has to do with maybe the types of leads they're running, but this shows you kind of where you're going to write your business. You're going to be a high producer like Junior doing 43,000 issue paid, or Jera at 19,000. It's very close, right? Very close. That, again, confirms this idea, the idea of the 4 quadrants. Simplified issue term, whole life. So what do you need to learn? Pick a company, Forrester's, so it's strong foundation or plan right, and plan right. If you're going to choose CFG, it's simplified issue term, or CFG dignified choice whole life, and then Great Western for guaranteed issue whole life, okay? All right, so very simple. But if you kind of map it out in this grid, you'll get it right in your head, okay? So anyway, gang, that is it. we'll end with my PRS, and I wish I had my amp in here because I could like jam and do stuff. But rock on, my children. I hope this made sense. Let's rock this week. All right, let's rock and roll this week. And if you need help, just call me, man. I'm always here to help. God bless you, man. Take care.